My guest today is a psychologist located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, that has been in private practice for over 30 years. She has built a team of therapists as part of her Therapy for Your Life brand. She's also a mother, entrepreneur, painter, writer, spiritual seeker, and all-around amazing person. Welcome to the show, Marianne Van Oyen. Welcome, Marianne.
Thanks, Andrew. Thank you for that lovely introduction.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It looks so nice where you are. It looks so peaceful. And
Thank you. And peaceful for me is really important, whether it's peace of mind, peace in my heart, peace in my environment. I need to have light and I need to have calm.
Yeah, it is. You could feel I could feel the calmness through there. It's really nice.
Thank you.
I was just speaking with a friend recently, and they have a lot of clutter, right? Like they're not hoarders, but just they have a lot of clutter, and in their space that they, watch TV and stuff like that. There's just stuff everywhere, and I was just talking to them about how energetically it kind of like robs you of your serenity or your peace, right?
You know what? I'm very open-minded. Like I'm open to Eastern culture, Western culture. I'm open to spiritual realms. I'm open to what's happening on the planet, different ideas and concepts. So with Feng Shui, I mean, I, I think there's something to that actually, because you can even think about, you're sitting in a room, you just might have things piled up on a chair. You don't really understand what that's doing to you until you get rid of the stuff that's on the chair. And then let's say that corner is nice and neat. And then you tune into how that makes you feel. It's like, oh, that feels better. I feel clearer. I feel lighter. So I go by, how does something make me feel? Clutter can be stressful, like you said, and it takes up a lot of room. So whether it's in your physical space or your internal space. And I often find when I myself or other people start to go through closets, get rid of old things, organize their drawers, that's a lot of internal clutter management. And I often find that people are doing that also when they're working on their own internal clutter. So I'll just, like I said, speak for myself. I feel that difference when I'm doing personal work on myself. For some reason, that makes me want to also do decluttering in my environment, and vice versa. If somebody says, "Oh, think of the color red," all of a sudden, without you even, you're just going to start looking in your environment for things that are red will pop up because that's what's getting your attention.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's like filters. Talking about that filters, right? Like so, and that's where I'm a firm believer in affirmations and things like that to help with your filters. So you're seeing the right thing. And there was this, again, I don't know if it's 100% right, but about something like we only perceive 20% of reality of like what we see, and 80% kind of goes by because there's just too many things, right? So we don't go crazy. So if you have a bowl of rice, you're not going to count, right? Like every grain of rice. Then you'd be like, yeah, I don't know. There's probably a word for it, but yeah, you'd be, too obsessed with all the details. And for that reason, we kind of, we have to filter. So our mind filters. So in that filter, if it's filtering to see the opportunities and the beauty and love, then we kind of see those things. And if it's so refreshing, when I met you, is to say that we have, it's this goal of meditation and then having that individual view. It's a little bit like like a voting or something where it's like you increase your own vibrational level and then you send love to the universe. You help people, you look from those things, and every person that does that, and then you kind of add up or make an average of all the vibrations of everybody becoming the universal consciousness vibration. So all that goes up and it's the individual work. So it's so important, I find it so selfless to work on yourself.
Yes, and what's interesting, I never really thought about it this way, because we're talking about universal consciousness or trying to harness our positive energies and intentions. And the more people can do that, the better. In terms of the universe and manifestation or asking for outcomes, what have you, um, a, a master intuitive that I work with, the other day she was saying, well, people have this misconception about the universe that it's only positive. But she goes, it's in her view, it's actually very neutral. The universe doesn't care. The universe will give you back what you want to manifest and ask for. And you can be a person who's like, I want to project positivity into the world and I really want to manifest peace, let's say. But other people we might be like, oh no, that's not our agenda. Our agenda is chaos and destruction or whatever. And that can be potentially manifested as well. Hence, what's going on. It all depends on one's intention.
Yeah, intention is, I mean, absolutely huge. Wayne Dyer wrote a great book on the power of intention, and but you have to also be a spiritual, vibrational match, right, to whatever comes in your experience. So this is kind of a very difficult for some people, especially when something kind of odd happens. So, like, let's say it was a minor car accident, you know. So it had to be in your field. You had to somehow have that opening for that to happen, or it shouldn't have happened. Because there's always like both sides. And I think yes, the universe provides you. I couldn't agree more with what your emotion is, what you're feeling, and what your vibration is, and what your focus is. So if you say, I want to be rich, but you feel poor, then you're going to be poor. Like it's your feeling will overtake that, because that sends that frequency.
Correct. Dr. Joe Dispenza, who's a neurological neuroscientist, quantum physicist, a spiritual mentor. In his meditations of manifestation, he'll always say, you need to, what's your script? Like, what do you want your script to be? And you need to feel what it's going to feel like when you get there. Picture having it already. And so to your point, the feeling part of that equation is very, very, very important. Because if it's just intellectual, okay, I really, really, really want to be rich, but you don't feel that and you don't believe that, and you're also not going to do the work to get there, right? Because it takes effort. Well, chances are it's not going to happen. It's just going to be a thought.
Yeah, oh,
That's
for sure. And then it's words. So that's why the first book that I wrote is on words, right? Because I find what you say is so important. So if you say to yourself as an affirmation, I want to be rich, then the universe is going to give you more wanting to be rich, right? Not
correct.
being rich. So, and then exactly, I'm a big fan of Dr. Joe Dispenza as well. And what he says is it releases the chemistry, the neurological chemistry with the emotion, right? The emotion tied to it. So if you want to have more wealth, exactly what you said. You feel it now. I feel wealthy now, and then never ask for it, because if you ask for it after that feeling, or doubt when it's coming or whatever, then you're negating what you did, the work you just did, because now you're like doubting it. And then you're saying, well, where is it? Right. But you already created it. So now your mind is like, well, I thought we're already living it. Now you're telling me we're not. So then it's like, it's all confused.
Correct. And then you just keep blocking yourself. And I think that's where a lot of people get frustrated. We're like, no, but I want that. And I think about that. And okay. But if you're always going, but I still I wanted, but you don't, like you said, you haven't crossed the bridge to the feeling of having it and knowing how you're going to get there. What's the intention? What's your map? What's your plan? Just saying, I want. Okay. You can stand there for the next 50 years saying I want and going, it's not happening. Oh, this doesn't work. This is crap. Right. And again, to your point on be careful the words used, and the message sent. Because I remember years ago, I was really tired and I felt, oh my God, I really need a break. I need a break. I need a break. Oh, I got a break. I broke my leg, right?
Yeah.
And a serious break. So it forced me, I couldn't go to work for several weeks. I couldn't do much because I couldn't move. And I was like, oh my God. I got a literal break. I did get a break from work than what I was asking for, but that's not how I wanted it. So I asked, and I received, but I didn't receive it in the way that was good for me. It gave me a break. That
Yeah,
wasn't.
exactly. I think
Mhm.
the universe or God has a tremendous sense of humor, and I think that there's some spiritual guides high fiving. Hey, look what we did! Like it's hilarious, like an inside joke that we're not privy to. But
So when you said that accidents can show up, lots of things can show up. Um, but if you're not clear, so I think had I been way more clear and listened to my gut, because my intuition told me I was a horseback riding accident. My intuition told me don't go to that lesson. So much so that even when I pulled up in the parking lot, I had an expensive piece of jewelry on. I took it off and I put it in my car for safekeeping because I had a sense something was going to happen. I didn't know what, and bingo. So watch what the message is, the wording, the intention, um, and listen to that deep inner voice. We all have it. We don't always want to hear it, or we don't all have ways to access it. We need peace for that, quiet methodology. There's systems, right? Like anything.